Hello, and welcome to an episode of AWS She Builds Tech Skills North America. My name is Kandyce. I'm one of the hosts here on the show, and today I'm joined by Ife, who is new to our hosting team, and I'm very excited to be doing this show with you and Jessica today. As we kind of kick things off, Ife, why don't you give just a quick introduction of who you are, what you do at AWS, and why you got involved in She Builds?
Thank you very much, Kandyce. It is lovely to be here. My name is Ife. I'm a Senior Partner Solutions Architect. Now, what I do is I work with AWS partners. We have a wide network of partners in the AWS Partner Network, and I try to understand the solutions that they're building, how customers are using them, and look around scaling them within customers and within different industries. I work with startups, and this is so exciting for me because outside of my day job, which I do, I run this platform called She Talks Tech, where I use analogies to explain cloud to people that are trying to either pivot into cloud or folks that are in tech already and they're trying to switch the area of concentration. So when I stumbled upon She Builds last year, I believe, for the inclusion huddle, I was like, oh, listen, this is right up my alley, and I want to be able to, help out and do amazing sessions like today. So thanks for having me, Kandyce.
Of course, you've been such a great addition to the team. I'm so happy to get to work with you. So glad you are here. And then you actually organized this whole event. Let's give you the credit here. I'm here to back you up as the veteran She Builds member, but this is all you. So why don't you take just a minute and introduce our guest today too?
Thank you, Kandyce. We are excited to welcome Jessica Giordano. She is the Associate Director of Alliances at Vertical Relevance. She has spent nearly a decade in the AWS ecosystem, helping organizations navigate their cloud adoption journeys and while building our own technical expertise along the way. So what's particularly inspiring about Jessica's story is how she embraced learning and growth from earning an AWS Cloud Practitioner to experimenting with CloudFormation, templates, and Ruby. Jessica, welcome to AWS She Builds.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for the introduction. Ife, really excited to be here and dive into the conversation today.
Alrighty. So I'd love to start with your journey into cloud technology. But before we start that, could you tell us a little about Vertical Relevance?
Yes, definitely happy to. So I will share up a slide here. So to give you a better overview of Vertical Relevance, who we are, what we do, types of clients we service. So Vertical Relevance is a premier AWS services partner, so consulting partner. We focus primarily on the financial services industry. So all along those key verticals on the left-hand side there, wealth management, asset management, banking, cards, payments, and insurance. Three key takeaways about Vertical Relevance. Number one is we focus on AWS and AWS only. So nothing with Azure, GCP. We're not generalist. We have collectively as a team 15 plus years of deep AWS hands-on experience, as Ife mentioned. The second thing I want to call out is that we focus, as I said, on the financial service industry. So we have 25 plus years of financial services domain deep expertise within the industry. So on the left-hand side, those verticals we mentioned, we have subject matter experts who can not only just understand the business problems that they face, they've been in those industries, those are our customers in the past, in previous lives, and understand the unique business problems that these financial services segments face. So we can talk the business and also talk the technology. And then the third, most importantly here, we have RSAs, which are reusable solution accelerators. And what these are is they are tools, templates, methodologies that we actually bring to our customers to reduce the time, cost, and risk of engagements. So obviously we are a consulting company. We're not a product company. So these are thought leadership pieces. These are free of charge that we have externally on our GitHub that customers can look to leverage and then have us come in and do some of the customization around that. So one of the RSAs I actually wanted to showcase is in the pyramid there, you could see SRA and resiliency. So we have a resiliency lead, competency lead who oversees all of our RSAs, the development of them. So one specifically that I wanted to call out is our experiment suite of solutions. So this really focuses on the automation of test cases. And I believe you posted the link in the chat. So if the viewers want to see more. So it starts by defining our test cases and what you want to create. And then from there, with our RSAs and our solutions, it helps automate that process. So it sets up actions and probes, which are the methods for injecting failure and evaluating failures. And then combining with these actions and probes, you can generate the test cases. And then you can kind of evaluate from your application whether it is meeting their RTO or RPO goals. And oftentimes in financial services, our clients have RPO and RTO goals of near zero for mission critical applications. So it's just one of the ways we bring some of our thought leadership and customer success powered solutions to our customers.
Thank you. Thank you. So thanks for that overview. Can you talk a little about how you help AWS, how you work with AWS? That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, FA. So in the middle there, I won't spend too much time on this, but in the middle, you can see a pyramid. And effectively, the way that we work with AWS is around 7 key competency areas. So at the bottom there, really our approach is meeting our customers where they are at. So at the bottom there is PMOs, program governance. So this is for customers who are just getting started with AWS. Yeah. They're doing a migration, they're doing a mainframe modernization, whatever it is, and they need to have that support and governance around getting started. So we have that in place. And then the next level up is what we call building the foundation. So the thought here across these 3 competency areas is really building out the foundations so that you can start to move apps onto AWS and start to move data onto AWS. So from a DevOps perspective, it's doing CI/CD pipelines, building out the infrastructure for an environment to effectively run. Security and compliance, that's aligning preventative, detective, proactive, reactive controls to both internal and external security frameworks and standards. SRA and resiliency, we just talked about. And then moving up the pyramid, we have app modernization, so standard refactoring, replatforming there, data and analytics, doing a lot of work there within data mesh, data warehouses, et cetera. And then at the top, AI. So we do a lot of traditional AI work. So working with data science teams and to do ML ops. And then most recently with everybody's favorite topic around Gen AI, doing a lot of bedrock solutions and agentic solutions, et cetera. So those are really our key competency areas and where we engage with AWS.
Thank you. Thanks, Jessica. So I used to be in FSI and I have seen Vertical Relevance work with some of my previous customers, and they do really good work. One of the reasons that I love this partner is they're not only domain experts, they understand the business and can speak the business. So let's move away from just the technical stuff for a bit. Jessica, I'd love to start with your cloud journey, which is where we were coming from before talking about Vertical Relevance. Coming from a non-technical background, what drew you to AWS and how did you navigate that transition?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, FA. So really the way I got introduced to AWS was through my mentor. So she previously worked at AWS and then was an alliances manager for another partner in the ecosystem. And I'll never forget, we sat down and had a conversation around AWS. And immediately I was like, okay, what is this? I've heard of Amazon, but what is AWS? Yeah. So I remember leaving that conversation, going home, jumping on my computer and learning really all the ins and outs of what AWS is. Because at the time, it wasn't very common. It wasn't something you talked really at the dinner table or whatever. So what drew me in is once I was introduced is really the uniqueness of the industry. There are so many, it's a challenging, ever-changing, ever-evolving industry. And that's something that really I found interesting and which keeps me kind of interested in the industry today.
That's awesome. So First of all, I think that it's important to talk about like the branding that we kind of went through early on with AWS. Like I would be like, yeah, I work at AWS, and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, I know that you know Amazon, right? Like you get packages every day. And so I think that we've come a long way in those last like 5-10 years or something like that. But it is kind of funny how you still sometimes you have to kind of talk about it. I also sometimes say next gen stats from football. Have you seen that? That's me.
Yes.
It's a good connection point.
You know what I try to do? I try to use, when people like, what even is cloud? I use, the iCloud on the phone. I say, you know how, you get some storage on your phone. And I said, it's not in the cloud. There is something somewhere that is managing that as and basically, and I say, imagine that on a larger scale for literally everything. So from like phones saying, oh, I need more, space, and then to like running your whole IT infrastructure, and they always get it, I think.
Yeah. You do such a great job of like connecting it back to real things. So I think that's a really good, like that's something that almost everybody has touched, whether it's like your Gmail storage is out or like iCloud or whatever. It's very tangible.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit too about like just your learn and be curious, like always changing. Like that's why you kind of like this this area, Jessica. So can you I think you mentioned, or at least we did in a past call, that you've earned your Cloud Practitioner certification and you've done some work in CloudFormation. And I just think that's really, really great, especially from like I majored in computer science. I'm guessing you did not major in computer science.
Definitely.
So I love that about like just diving deep, learn and be curious, to use some of our leadership principles. But what really motivated you to get into that while your actual like day job is more business focused?
Yeah. And I actually graduated with a degree in marketing, so definitely not in technology whatsoever. So really, I think as an alliance role, especially for an AWS partner, the culture is naturally technical. So in an alliance role, you kind of have a unique situation where you can work with both the business and technology teams. So you get to see both of those areas. So for me specifically, in my conversations with AWS or internal teams, really had to have a base level understanding of AWS and some of the foundational services and best practices, et cetera. So really, when I found myself as I was in a conversation with our internal teams, and they were talking about a customer success story that they worked on, and they were talking through the architecture diagram, and I was like, wait a minute, why did you build it out that way? Why did you use this service over this service? And I just wanted to know more about why they chose particular services and kind of what the structure looked like. So that's really what inspired me to go ahead and get my Cloud Practitioner certification. And then we really take an automation first approach with everything. So IAC. So that's where the CloudFormation templates kind of came into play, because I wanted to know, I didn't want to just walk the walk or talk the talk, rather. I wanted to walk the walk and see it as well. So that's kind of how I arrived at going after the certification and having that base level understanding, so that I could just not participate in the calls, but actually engage and have a fruitful conversation with our teams and the AWS teams.
Love it. That's amazing.
Impressive, like highly impressive. So let's talk about the Vertical Relevance Associate Program. How does it support individuals transitioning from non-tech backgrounds into cloud careers?
Yes, happy to. So our Vertical Relevance Associate Accelerator program is a program that we hold dear to our heart. It is a very diverse group of backgrounds. So at a core, the program takes individuals who may have studied in computer science, may be doing a career switch. We've had former teachers actually graduate from the program. And really what the program does is at a baseline, they do have to have an understanding of programming. So baseline is programming. Then they don't have to know AWS. They don't have to know AWS services. They don't need to know CDK or Terraform or CloudFormation. But really what we do is we'll go ahead and throughout the program, through hands-on labs, through workshops, through code programming, peer programming, we'll go ahead and effectively train up consultants to help them progress throughout their cloud journey. And it's an intensive program, I will say. One fun stat is that within the first few weeks, they have to achieve their Solution Architect Associate certification, which is a tough one, but we have a lot of success in individuals who achieve that one. And once you have a certification under your belt, it's like the level of confidence that people have. They're like, okay, I can level up and go to the next one. So it's a really great program that we hold. Me personally, I hold it close to my heart.
Oh, thanks for that. And Kandyce is a superstar when it comes to the certification. Tell us, Kandyce, how you're working towards your golden jacket. Like, we have to celebrate. Like, we need to do something just fun for that, because that is such a great achievement. Tell us how you're doing that.
I'm trying. So I have one left, and it is the hardest one. Yesterday we did a show with a much younger essay who just got all of the certifications. Her name is Maida. I recommend you go watch that video too. She actually has all the insights. Like, she got it. I'm not there yet. So they are kind of a lot of work, and I do think it takes like some dedicated time to work towards those. But it is a goal of mine. It's been a repeated goal of mine, but we keep adding new certifications and blah, blah, blah. But I have one left. I can do it. It's the networking certification. I move next week, but then after that, I'm going to start studying seriously.
That is a very tough one. Listen, when I did the network specialty, it looked like I was writing an exam for my life, because and you know the funny thing with that, they don't give you the results immediately. So you need to wait like a day or two, and you're like, are you going to get congratulations or something? But I'm rooting for you for this one.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah. So for the women that might be watching this, Jessica, and they're interested in cloud technology, but like they're hesitant due to lack of, technical background, what advice will you give them?
Yeah, so I absolutely love this question, Ife. And if I can go back and like whisper in my younger self's ear, I would love to. But one key item that I actually wanted to call out is don't be afraid to be a beginner. Yeah. Because really, if you have the dedication, the ability to go and study for something and switch either roles, let alone a career completely, that's uncomfortable, right? But if you have that dedication in you and the time to commit to it, just go for it. We don't all have to be experts in everything. And I think that's something that we really all strive to be an expert in the field, especially when you're just getting started. So I think it's important that you remember that it's okay to learn. It's okay to be a beginner. And I think you really have to reflect back on all of our own journeys, right? Because at one point in time, we were all on this call, and people that listening, we were all beginners in our stages with cloud or whichever role you may be. So I think it's really important that you reflect on that, because we have the opportunity, as everybody on this call and within the community, to help one another. That if you think back to when you were a beginner, if I wish somebody said this to me or could have helped me here, we have the opportunity to do that for other people. And it's funny, when Ife approached me and asked me if I want to talk on the She Builds forum, I immediately thought of my daughter. She is going to be 1.5 years now. And I was like, here I am. I have the ability to talk on this platform with you all, with AWS, about women in tech, about our experiences. And we really have the opportunity here to open up the doors for the future generation.
Yeah, I love that. Also a mom of a daughter, and just wanting to encourage the younger women entering the field, and I love your story here about like a non-technical background getting into the technology, and like it seems like you're like thriving here. Like CloudFormation templates are no joke, so no, that's no joke. So good for you.
Thank you. It wasn't an easy test, but we did it.
That's right. Yeah. So then if we double click just a little bit more in there, like I feel like there is a little bit of like what you would tell yourself type of thing. So let's talk just a little bit about mentorship. We all need to mentor each other, and like, just maybe not mentor, but like support each other and have that network and things like that. So can you share just a little bit about how mentorship has influenced your career development and what you're doing to pay it forward now?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's funny, I kind of kicked off with my mentor and now we're circling back on mentorship. So really, I think having a mentor, or not just one, but multiple mentors, is key. So let's be honest, if it wasn't for my mentor, we would not be having this conversation on the call. She introduced me to AWS, and if it wasn't for that, who knows where I'd be. And so having one mentor, definitely, but having multiple. So then I've also had mentors that challenge me, support me. They're the ones who have challenged me to go for a Ruby course and get hands-on keyboard and be able to see how that works. So having a team that you can really kind of talk about, support each other, I think is key. Not just one mentor, but having multiple.
Yeah, I've referred to that before as my board of advisors, sort of. Like, I like to have different types of mentors also. You know, some that are a little bit like extra bold, and some that make you like stop and think a little bit more. Some that are leaders. Maida, who has the golden jacket, like, I have much more experience in the field than she does, but she's going to mentor me and she's going to help me like get my study on, you know? So like, I think it's important to have a variety of opinions also. So super helpful.
Yeah, and on the mentorship front, because you want the people that are speaking into your life, like contributing or pouring into you, they're people that you've seen how they work, you've seen the way they do their things, and you admire it, right? But what I always tell anyone about mentorship is that if you want to get the best out of it, you need to come ready and be ready to meet your mentor halfway. Everyone is super busy. There's always 1,001 things going on at the same time. It would be very encouraging when they see, you know, you have the zeal, you have the drive, you're ready to do the work. And so it's two people, one person who has a wealth of experience, ready to help you, and you have the drive and you just need a little guidance. And when that meets, it creates for a successful mentorship experience. So if you're thinking about finding, or you know, either being a mentor or even finding a mentor today, put that in mind, and I think you're going to have a great experience about that.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, go ahead, Ife.
Yeah, Kandyce. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna kind of start wrapping it up just a little bit. I was kind of looking through our banners, and I don't think I posted all of them. I tried to post some while you were sharing your slide, Jessica, and it kind of went over it. So I want to go over these just a little bit because I'm not sure that I shared enough of the things. So here's GitHub, vertical relevance on GitHub. This is what I did share, and it's very big, so it covered up some of the screen earlier. We also have a workshop available. So this is where you can find catalog.workshops.aws is where you can find all of our workshops that your solutions architects can do with you, or you can do on your own. So Vertical Relevance has one, so that is also very cool. But I just wanted to make sure that I showed all of those because I didn't do it earlier.
Thanks, Candyce. Appreciate it.
Well, this has been an insightful conversation. For our viewers who want to connect with you, Jessica, where can they find you and where can they find Vertical Relevance?
Yes, thank you. So you can find me on LinkedIn. Perfect, Candyce, cue the banner. So you could message me directly, happy to connect, chat about my experience. You could also find Vertical Relevance on LinkedIn as well. So you could follow us there, see all of our RSAs, all of our solution accelerators are published there with links to the GitHub, our website, etc. So you could really dive into the code there. And yeah, feel free to reach out. Happy to continue the conversation. And Ife, Candyce, thank you so much for having me on. This has been so much fun. A way to kick off Friday afternoon. So thank you.
Thank you for indulging us. And it segues into the long weekend that I am super, super excited for.
I feel like we earned this one. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So Ife, thanks for bringing Jessica on. Like, you ran this show, like you really did do it. And Jessica, thank you so much for sharing your insights with everybody. We have another episode scheduled for next Friday. I know Jigna is hosting that one, and this one is about Money Lion's customer experience revolution. So more in this financial services world. And you can also just like and subscribe to our entire YouTube channel for She Builds. There's tons of videos there from our entire global team, actually. So hope to see you on watching another episode soon. And thank you all for being here.
Thanks so much.
All right. Have a great weekend all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.